Hey guys, it's Nikki, and we're back here for day 7 of our 10 days of yoga to help us de-stress a little bit. So today we're going to be doing a standing stretch. You don't necessarily need any equipment, but you'll see I've got a nice sturdy chair here. Sometimes I'll do these stretches with my shells over here, but they're kind of wobbly. If you got great balance, you don't necessarily need it, but it's just for a little extra support. You can use your couch or wall, whatever. So we're just going to start facing our support if we're going to use it. And we're going to start with a little bit of a lower body. So I'm going to put my hands on my chair, or they can be on the hips. I'm going to take my right leg, and I'm going to step my right leg back, almost like I'm going into a little lunge position, and I'm going to pull my heel down to the ground. You can generously lunge into that left leg. If you find your heels on the ground and you're not feeling a stretch with that back leg, you can take a longer stance. If your heel's a little off the ground, that's okay too. I'm just keeping a nice, tall, upright posture here. We're just focusing on that nice calf muscle, really pulling that heel down with a nice straight back leg here. Seeing a nice little calf stretch, kind of like a little modified lunge position. So the toes and heels should be facing forward here. We're just going to do one more big breath here. Good, and then I'm going to lift my heel up, and I'm going to push my toes into the mat. As I lift the heel up, you can also bend into that back knee a little bit if you want to go deeper. We're feeling now the stretch on the bottom of the foot and that plantar fascia, so don't go too deep. You don't want to be in any pain here. You just want to feel a nice, deep stretch here at the bottom of that foot, especially if you do a lot of walking and you don't have proper support. So at home, when you're not wearing shoes, or if you don't have the proper support even in your shoes, you can get quite painful. Last breath here. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to lift the foot up. I'm going to point those back toes. I'm going to put the top of my foot, the shoelace part, into the foot. This is where you're going to want to lean a lot into your front leg or into your support. You don't want to overstretch, but I'm still pushing my foot down a little bit into the back. I like to keep my leg straight, but you can bend your knee, especially if you want to take a little pressure off, or it does slightly change the stretch. So again, I want my toes pointing behind me. Everything's kind of in this plane facing forward and backwards. So I'm feeling that tibialis anterior stretch. And this is a great stretch if you do a lot of walking, especially uphill or you're on an uneven surface. So we have to really use that tibialis anterior to help lift our foot up. Good. Last big breath here. I'm just going to bring that right leg in, plant it on the ground, and we're going to switch sides. So again, use your support if you need it. I'm going to step the left leg back, just like I would in a nice lunge position, but this time I'm focusing on pulling the heel down like I would. For calf stretch, you've got a nice lunge in the front leg. Again, you can have your hands on your hips, or just that extra little support, whether it's your desk. Just because we don't need to wobble, we don't need to balance here. We want to focus on that calf, focus on that lower limb, just to stretch it out. So as we do, we're just going to start taking some deeper breaths. I know I've talked a lot already. It's just going to help calm us down as we stretch out our muscles. And then we're going to lift that back heel up. All my toes are pressed into the mat. Again, I'm keeping a nice straight leg here, so I feel that nice stretch in that plantar fascia right under the foot. Don't over bend in the toes. That's why I don't like to bend my knees. You can overdo those joints, overextend them. We don't ever want that. Just enjoy this nice little release, send some oxygen. Hopefully melt a little deeper as we exhale into this stretch. One more breath. Good. I'm going to lean all my weight into my front foot so I can lift that back foot up. I'm going to point those toes so I can put the back of the top of the foot on the mat, and my foot's brought in a lot more. And again, you can choose to bend your knee or not. I feel my leg just slightly bent gives me the best stretch where I need it the most, but we're all different. So choose where you feel the best, whether you're down here or up here. If you want to go deeper, you can always push your foot actively into the ground a little bit more. That's it. 2 more big breaths. Last one. Perfect. I'm going to lift that back foot up. I'm going to step it in, and I'm just going to move this out of my camera shot just a little bit so I can face you. So we're just going to do a few more nice standing stretches. I'm going to take a nice big inhale up, sweep the arms up. I'm going to clasp the arms overhead. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. I'm going to pull up my shoulders a little bit, especially if you've got shorter arms. I'm going to keep a nice tight core. We're going into a sunflower. So as I inhale, I'm going to lift my shoulders up. I'm going to start laterally bending towards the right, letting my right elbow come down. And when I can't go anymore, I'm going to collapse myself down into a nice little forward fold, drawing this nice circle with my arms. When I get to the other side, I'm going to open up my right arm so I can open back up on the other side. Beautiful. Let's go reverse direction. So left arm leads, lateral bend to the left. Nice slow and controlled motion here. Core is tight, knees are soft. Just making this as big of a motion as I can. Let's do one more each direction. So nice little hinge forward. Opening up. Beautiful. And then we're going to go the other way. Back to your left. And release. Let's release the arms overhead. I just have to cut this. I'm like, I don't know if we're recording. I can't see. We are. I just wanted to double check. I'll cut it out. Arms are overhead, and we're going to clasp our fingers but release the index. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, hands to the right, hips to the left, core is tight, nice little lateral bend. One full breath here. And then let's inhale back up to center. Exhale over to the left. Nice little lateral bend here. Stick the hips out to the right. As you take your next inhale, let's come up. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see me. I'm going to release my hands and bring them into my back pockets. If you don't have back pockets, just imagine that's where I'm placing my hands on my upper glute, lower back. I'm going to pinch my elbows together. We're going into a standing hammer. I'm going to take a nice big inhale here, open up the heart, lift the chin. And as I exhale, I'm going to push the hips forward and look up towards the sky. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Just a little bit of a back bend. You should feel a nice stretch along the front of the torso here. Just breathing nice and deep. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe look up a little more to the sky. Soften the knees if you'd like. And if you feel any pressure in the back, just come out of this a little bit. This should not be strenuous on the body at all. Just a nice deep stretch. One more big breath here. Perfect. As we inhale, let's come up. And let's just do some nice standing shoulder rolls here. Pick a direction, it doesn't matter which, because we'll do both. And then switch directions, whatever way you're not going. That's it. And then release your arms. You're going to take another big inhale up. We're going to exhale, fold forward here, coming to a nice ragdoll. So don't worry if you can't grab the ground. We're all going to grab opposite arm, opposite elbow like we did that sunflower, but we're hanging here. We're going to let that head hang loose. And it's okay if your legs aren't quite straight yet, but we're going to focus on trying to straighten the legs. And if you notice, my tush is like way behind my heel. So I'm going to start to lean forward a little bit. This is going to help deepen the hamstring stretch. Just make sure you don't fall forward. Just slowly, slowly start putting more weight in those toes. Taking nice big inhales here. And as you exhale, try and melt your body deeper and deeper into this fold, letting the body just hang. Give me 2 more big, deep, slow breaths here. Our last breath, so really let yourself melt here. And then I'm going to release my hands. I'm going to inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back. We're going to hold this position. So try and find some length with your back. I'm pretty parallel to the ground, but you can go down as far as you can with a nice flat back. We want to keep our shoulder blades pinched together a little bit because we tend to want to let our arms fall. We're leading with the chest, and again, we're going to put a little more weight in our toes. So we try and stack the ankles, knees, and hips. And again, as you exhale, we're folding micro beat deeper, but only in the hips. The back does not bend here. This is a bit more of a sectioning off and just those hamstrings. Last breath here. Good. Soften the knees as we inhale. Reach your eyes. Come all the way up. Palms come together. And we exhale through heart center. So if you choose, we're going to do a little bit of a balance here. We're going to do a nice dancer's pose, which will help open up the hip flexors a little bit more, the quads. I find a lot of our stretching is so hamstring focused. I do encourage, if you need something for balance, please use it. There's no shame in that. All right, I'm just going to start. I'm going to bring my right hand out, kind of like a little server. I'm going to turn down just in case I need my balance, and I'm going to bring the right foot up. I'm going to grab the inside. If you can't grab the inside, please grab the outside, and you just stay in a normal quad stretch. Basically, dancers is just a fancy quad stretch. You can also use your chair for balance. It should just be right in front of you, or whatever you're using. You can bring that left arm up. You can also start to kick into that hand. Just bring it a little back. Let's all stay up right here. We'll keep it to a bit more of a basic dancer. But if you just want to start kicking back, you'll feel a little bit more in that shoulder. And just soften that left supporting knee. Just focus on some nice deep breaths. Often it's easier to balance if you're focusing on a point with your gaze that's not moving. And try and find nice, deep, long breaths. Often when we're trying to, it actually creates a little movement within our body, and it makes it a little harder to balance. So slow it down. Give me 2 more breaths here. And last one. I'm going to release my left arm down, gently release that right foot, and then we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to bring my left arm out, nice little serving arm again. I'm going to grab the inside if I can. If not, I'm going to grab the outside. Knee points down, right hand comes up, or you can use your balance point here as we push the hips forward, or maybe start to kick back, maybe kick that foot into that hand, help open up that shoulder just a little bit more. And we're just going to breathe here. Enjoy these nice big deep breaths. Trying to balance here. Keep it nice and still. That's it. If you find your ankle wobbling a little bit, don't worry. That's just it's balancing. And one more. Good. Release that left leg down. Give that right leg a little shake out. It may need it. We're going to take another big inhale. I'm going to clasp my hands, reach the palms up, look up to the sky, reach, reach, reach. You can come up onto your tippy toes if you'd like. I don't have great balance, so I'm going to stay here. And then I'm going to take a nice big exhale. I'm going to fold forward here. And if you can't grab the ground, I'm going to take my left hand and grab my opposite ankle. That's only if you can't keep your hand on the ground, even if I have my fingers on the ground. I'm going to do a little fan. So I'll turn to face you. Head is hanging here. I'm going to take a nice big inhale as I sweep the right arm up. And I'm going to bend into my left knee. So if your hand is on your ankle, it's on the right ankle, left knee is bent. And I'm looking up towards the right side. You want to make sure that shoulder is locked in place. And you can also grab your shin if you need to. We're focusing on this nice little twist. You can also bring your hand to your hip if you're not comfortable. All right, I'll show you from the side. I've got a very generous bend in my left knee. So I twist towards that right side. One more big breath here. And then I'm going to bring that right arm down, straighten the left leg. Just find a nice forward fold. On that nice next inhale, let's give a nice halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time, right hand is on the ground in the center of me. I'm going to grab my left ankle with that right wrist as I inhale. Sweep the left arm up and over. I'm giving a generous bend in that right leg. So I am getting a nice stretch in the back of my right leg, but it's also a little higher up here. But I'm still getting that nice spinal twist as I lock the shoulder blade down. And I don't want my arm reaching up. I want it to reach behind me to help get that torso to twist. Just making myself twist a little deeper on those exhales. That's it. Two more big breaths here. And last one. Good. Release the left arm back down, straighten both legs. On your next inhale, let's give a nice halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, fold forward, soften the knees, root to rise. Let's come. And bring our hands through heart center. and release. I'm just going to turn to face you. I'm going to have my palms facing forward. I'm going to step my feet so they're hip width apart. I'm going to close my eyes here for our final position of Tadasana. It's basically our standing Shavasana. This is mountain pose. So our goal is to root down through our heels, lift up through the crown of the head, relax the shoulders, relax any of the muscles in your face. Just take a few deep breaths here. Enjoying this calmness. Imagine yourself standing on the top of a mountain, enjoying those deep, fresh air breaths. And this time you're going to take a nice big inhale here, and you're going to side out nice big. Do that 2 more times. Full big inhale, side out. This time as you inhale, when you exhale, side out all the negative energy, let it go. And then release yourself back to that Shavasana, or that Tadasana. Focusing now on the balance. It's okay if you find yourself sweating, I often do. You can squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes, root down through those toes, and really stand up tall to help stabilize. And as we sway, that just means we rely heavily on our eyesight for balance. Just one more breath here. I'm going to bring my palms together, thanking ourselves for showing up today, getting a nice little stretch. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you back next time. Namaste.